Hello, everyone. You're welcome to another exciting, another engaging, another enlightening episode on the Amogape Radio Communications programs. I remain your host, Adikpeju Jayoba, and I welcome you to a brand new week and I'm welcoming you to this brand new episode. Thank you so much for joining in. It's always a delight and a joy to have you here. Thank you so much for taking our time to listen in, and I do hope that today you will learn something insightful and useful in your organization. Once again, I welcome you to this program. Together, we've been considering good practices in change management. And one of the things that we have established so far together is that change is inevitable. In fact, the business landscape of the 21st century is characterized by ever changing trends and events. And these changes happen so rapidly that it takes most business leaders by surprise. Considering the high turnover of ideas and fads and production of new things, it's no wonder that organizations are constantly churning out new products and new services, and not all of them click in the marketplace. And given this, background, it would be interesting that any business leader who is not preparing or who is not anticipating and preparing for change is not being realistic about the fact or the dynamics of the 21st century. The 21st century is majorly characterized by constantly happening rapid, sometimes sudden changes. And this means that it is imperative that business leaders or managers or supervisors should be prepared to deal with the changes that come to the organizations. And this is where change management comes into play. And we've established together that change management refers to the protocol, the approaches, the processes, the systems that are put in place in an organization to effectively manage change from conception to implementation and to resolution. That is what change management is, and we have seen different strategic steps to managing change. We've seen that the first thing you need to do is to prepare for change. The next thing you have to do after preparing for change and preparing your organization for change is to strategically prepare for change. And this is the stage where you write down all your steps, your plans, and your objectives, and then you also mention who is responsible for what. This is the part where every detail regarding the change process in your organization is written down. After your strategic plan, then you have communication. Communication is the bridge, the link between the vision of the leader and the information that the employees need to effectively and efficiently execute the change project. One of the things that we must remember is that no leader or is or an or our own can execute an entire change project. You need the buy-in, you need the cooperation, you need the agreement of your employees. And so one of the things that communication does is that communication informs your employees about the change project. It paints the picture of the vision to them. It tells them, and prepares them for the impact of the change, and then it enlightens them for the benefits of the change to the organizations and to them as individuals. And so communication is very essential in the change management process. And then after communication, you have evaluation. One of the things you must constantly do during your change journey is that you must review and analyze and ensure that the change project is successful, or it is, achieving the result or achieving the vision that has been set for it. It is one thing to say, oh, we want to change this organization. It's another thing for that change to achieve the vision that's been set for it. And then after evaluation, the next thing you want to do is resolution. And at the stage of resolution, this is when the change becomes a part of the organization. It is now embedded in the organizational culture, and everyone is adapted to this new change in the organization. That is the, strategic steps of change management. Also, on this journey, we have considered good practices or best practices of change management. And the first we considered is leadership. And we said that at the helm of any change project is leadership. Leadership is the driver of any change, the vision, the expectation, the strategic plans of the change project starts from the leadership of the organization. And when we're talking about leadership here, we're talking about transformational leadership, not just any kind of leadership, because transformational leadership takes leadership a step higher. Transformational leadership is that kind of leadership that inspires, that motivates, that supports, that empowers, that builds and encourages employees to achieve both personal and organizational goals. And so transformational leadership is much more than transactional leadership, which is the day-to-day dealings between a leader and employee, where the employee, delivers on products or services, and the leader rewards them with, the agreed pay. Transformational leadership doesn't just pay the employees. Transformational leadership seeks ways to build the employees such that they are equipped and empowered to, achieve the company's goals, and in this context, to achieve the change project that the organization is about to embark on. Also, we have seen another important practice in change management, and that is communication. Very important. We've seen that communication is a very vital tool that must go on throughout the change project or throughout your change journey in your organization, because communication informs, not only makes your employees aware of what is happening, informs them of the steps that are involved in the change project, and it also tells them what to expect out of the change, so that your employees are not left feeling confused, or they are not left feeling frazzled, or left feeling unsure about the future. One of the things that heightens resistance to change is when employees are not sure of what to expect out of change. Remember that as wonderful and as good as change is, it will come with some form of discomfort. And so when employees are not sure what to expect of change, they would resist that change. But when they are informed of the vision, the reason for the change, they are aware of the impacts the change will cause on them and on the organization, and they are also told the benefits or the advantages of the change, then they know how to adjust accordingly. In today's episode, we're going to be considering another practice that is very essential to change management. In fact, I would say that at the hub of change is this practice I want to talk about, and that is innovation. Yes, I'm talking about innovation. During the course of the last decade, if we look at the last 10 years or more across all industries, and I'm talking about from the agricultural sector to the health sector to the telecommunications sector, we have seen organizations, businesses, corporations introduce new organizational concepts. We have seen them produce new products. We have seen them improve their business services or introduce new business models into the market. And what this has done is that it has exposed you know businesses, organizations in the marketplace to a plethora of changes. And these changes come about in order to meet the growing challenges posed, first and foremost by the customers. As the challenges or as the demands of customers change, organizations rise up to the challenge and they produce or they introduce new ways of doing things. Also, challenges posed by the market, by regulations, by laws, and also the introduction of new competitors in the marketplace. Because of this, organizations are constantly in the phase known as the learning phase, meaning that organizations that want to thrive and want to remain relevant in the business place have to constantly learn. They have to constantly learn new things, constantly learn new ways of doing things, constantly learn new business models. They are constantly learning, and that constant learning leads to new, innovative, creative ideas that come to the marketplace to provide solution to the challenges or to the problems that are posed to the organization. And I want to say this very quickly, that you cannot truly call an idea innovative, or you cannot call an idea innovation if it is not solving a problem. And so when we talk about innovation, we're talking about the product or the services or business models or processes that bring solution, viable solution to the increasing challenges of the competitive and globalized market. And one of the things that we have seen in the last decades is that we have seen change management organizations are constantly changing the way they do things. You walk into probably your bank and you realize, okay, certain things have changed, the way they respond to you have changed. Now they send you emails. Now banks, in the last 10 years, banks have come up with apps, they've come up with short codes which didn't used to be there. Now from the comfort of your home, you can have your financial transactions without necessarily going to your bank physically. That is innovation, coming up with new and better and improved ways of doing things. And so we've seen change management come on board in the last decade. We've seen new economies come up. We've seen organizational development. We've seen the rise in, the acquiring of knowledge and learning, like I said earlier. And this tells us that innovation is very key to our ever dynamic and ever changing world. And so you might be wondering, what is innovation? Let's get right into it. Innovation is defined as the process of bringing about new ideas, methods, products, services, or solutions that have a significant positive impact and value. It involves transforming creative concepts into tangible outcomes that improve efficiency and effectiveness and productivity, or it addresses the unmet needs of customers. In a business context like ours, innovation refers to the ability to conceive, develop, deliver, and scale new products, services, processes, and business models for customers. And like I said earlier, all this is geared towards providing solution to the challenges of the customers or to meet their needs. There was a time when, when you have a baby as a mother, and you had a rocking bed, you'd have to do that manually. But as the needs of the mothers, changed, and you have more mothers having to multitask, probably mothers working from home, or they have to attend to a business call, or they have other things to do. There was a need, to have their babies being rocked, and mothers could also attend to other things. And that led to, the introduction of electric rocking chairs. Now you can plug it and then you lay your baby down, and then the baby is being rocked to sleep while the mother can attend to other things. So innovation has come to meet the needs of customers. Now there's somebody who we would describe, or who we can describe as the founder of the theory of innovation in economics generally, and that's the person of Schumpeter. And he defines innovation as the economic impact of technological change, as the use of new combinations of existing productive forces to solve the problems of business. Wow, very beautiful definition. However, it will be good to also note at this point that innovation is not limited to technological advancement. It encompasses, any novel idea that attends to the needs or provides solution to what people need, or provide solution to the challenges of your customers. A very good example of innovation that has really taken over the marketplace is inclusion and diversity. Over the last decades, we have seen organizations broaden their scope and open their arms wider to include more persons. Include gender and race and religion, and that didn't used to be. So that's a form of innovation. So innovation does not necessarily mean it has to be technological in nature. If you think about a new way to solving people's problems, that is innovation. And innovation is driven by a combination of factors. Innovation includes creativity, definitely. Creativity is at the hub of innovation. I'm sure you've seen gadgets and you're like, what is this? What is this used for? And when you're told, or when you see how that gadget is used, or when you see how something, you're like, wow, this is creative. So creativity is at the hub of innovation. We have curiosity and the desire for improvement. Remember, innovation cannot be called innovation if it is not solving a problem. I'll take that again. Innovation cannot truly be called innovation if it is not solving a business problem. You can truly call a new product or a new service or a new business model innovation when it is geared towards solving the problem of your customers or solving a certain challenge in the business space. And so innovation can lead to economic growth, it can lead to social progress, it can lead to improved quality of life and sustainable development. Innovation is very essential to change. And while innovation can increase productivity and business success, like we've seen, it can also, it definitely brings change to the organization. And this means that people might naturally resist it initially. And so, like change, innovation also has to be managed and handled effectively for it to bring about the desirable outcomes that the business leader desires of that innovation. Remember that if innovation is not properly handled or properly managed, it can lead to chaos in your organization. And so you want to ensure that innovation is properly managed in your organization to ensure the change, or to ensure the outcome, or to ensure that your organization is moving towards the goal that has been set for it. So very quickly, I want us to look at the types of innovation that we have. Now, innovation can take various forms, and there are different types of innovation that serve different purposes and bring different benefits. And we have, different examples of innovation. We have product innovation, that's talking about, releasing new kinds of products. We have process innovations, thinking of novel ways to bring about solution in business processes. We have service innovation, meaning that your organization might necessarily not be creating or producing or manufacturing something, but thinking of better ways to attend to your customers. That's service innovation. We have business model innovation, bringing about a novel creative way to doing business within your industry space. We have incremental innovation, we have disruptive innovation, we have so many types. Technological innovation, that is probably the most common that we see. We have digital innovation, and we see that commonly with the rise of fintech, with the rise of apps. We see that with the rise of new ways of discharging duties online, with the world becoming a global market, and I here in Africa reaching out to a client in the United States and connecting with somebody, in China. All that is digital innovation. Before, that couldn't happen. If I had to talk to a client in the US, I probably had to, have to physically travel, but that somebody thought about, okay, how do we, bridge that gap? And then we have digital innovation. We have medical innovations. There's so many types of innovations that can occur. But for the brevity of time and to make it easy to understand, I have, brought down to 3 types of innovation. And the first one I want us to look at is continuous innovation. Continuous innovation is also known as incremental innovation, and it refers to small, gradual, incremental improvements or enhancements made to existing products, services, processes, or business models. And I'm sure examples are already coming to mind, particularly in the telecommunications space or the technological space. A very good example is Apple. How that every year they are bringing out newer models of the iPhone, and then they are making gradual changes to the previous model. So iPhone 13 is an awesome phone, but then they brought out iPhone 14 that probably has features that iPhone 13 does not have. And then you have, a new iPhone, and then they keep getting better and getting better at what they do. And so many other, telecommunications or phone industries, let me use the phone, or your laptops. They're trying to add new softwares, add new features, fix this bug, attend to this. All that are small, gradual changes that are being, added to an already existing product or service or process or business model. So it involves making those changes over a period of time to refine and optimize existing, product offerings or service offerings. Continuous innovation aims to improve efficiency, quality, or user experience without fundamentally altering the underlying concept or value proposition. And so you see that with the iPhone will remain the iPhone. There was no time where they ever came and said, "Oh, we're sorry, we're going from iPhone to Q phone," or it will no longer be called the iPhone. It's now going to be called a W phone, and this phone is going to be flying. No, it's just gradual changes. And what they're doing is they're trying to make sure that your use or your experience with using the iPhone is better. And so you see those who have the iPhone 14 and are enjoying it, like, "Oh wow, this is amazing." When those with the iPhone 14 Pro Max come and like, "Mine is better," like, wow, okay, I think I want to try this. So they're making gradual changes to ensure that user experience is better, and customers are enjoying this. And so that tells me that continuous innovation is often driven by feedback from customers, market insights, and the organization's desire to stay competitive. So continuous innovation helps organizations maintain their market position, meet evolving customer expectations, and sustain long-term growth. The second kind or type of innovation we'll be considering today is the discontinuous innovation. Discontinuous innovation, and is also known as the radical or disruptive innovation. And from the name, radical or disruptive, it tells you that it disrupts the existing market. It is something new, something novel. It involves introducing significant and transformative changes that disrupt business models or the way of doing things. It represents a departure from the existing norms and practices, or a departure, from what people are already used to. And it often involves the introduction of entirely new products, new services, new technologies, or new business models. It is the new guy on the block. That is discontinuous innovation. It comes to shock everyone like, okay, this is new. It is screaming, I am new, I'm disruptive, I am radical. And usually, discontinuous innovation is seen in young or in emerging organizations that want to break into the industry and make a name for themselves. And so you see an organization that you probably never heard of, and they come and they release something, boom, and you're like, whoa, we've never heard of it. And one such organization is Tesla, where we've been used to our regular traditional vehicles, and then we moved from the manual operating to the automatic operating, and we thought, oh wow, yeah, I mean, we've got it all until Tesla came and introduced electric vehicles. Like, wow, so cars can run on electricity. That is a discontinuous innovation or a disruptive kind of innovation. So, discontinuous innovation creates new market segments, it opens up new possibilities, and it challenges established players. And so, it is usually characterized by a higher level of risk because sometimes you don't know if the market or the customers will accept this new way of doing things or this new product. It is characterized also by uncertainty. You're not sure if it will click on the marketplace or if it will fail. And it is also characterized by potential rewards because if it becomes a success, it will really be a success. This continuous innovation is driven by identifying and capitalizing on emerging trends, technological advancements, or changing customer needs. So that is discontinuous innovation or disruptive innovation. The third kind of innovation I'll be considering today is the dynamically continuous innovation. Dynamically continuous innovation. And it's slightly different from continuous innovation that I talked about earlier. A dynamically continuous innovation is also known as adjacent or architectural innovation. And this is one that affects the way in which a company adapts to changing market condition and changes in the consumer behavior to make a positive impact on the consumer psyche. So what this kind of innovation does is that it expands, an already existing technology, or it brings an already existing product into a new market. And it's usually, based on the request or the demands of the customers. So unlike continuous innovation that just makes gradual improvement on an already existing product or service, what the dynamically continuous innovation does is that it brings an already existing product or an already existing service into a new market. So let me give a very good example. We know Apple, right? So they started with phones first. But I'm sure at some point people were like, yes, we love your phones, we love the iPhone. But I wish I had, or I wish your organization would give me, a laptop where I can do my work effectively. And so you see, from just making phones, they started having the iPad, which has a bigger screen to accommodate, more work done. And then you have the MacBook, which is the laptop, all made by the same company. And so you see, they brought already existing business prototypes and technology into, new markets to attend to the various needs of their customers. Another example is, Uber. Uber is a transportation company, and then they attend to picking people and taking them from one place to the other. But they expanded into the food delivery market. bringing their transportation services into the food delivery market with Uber Eats. And so you see, dynamically continuous innovation is people bringing in already existing technology into into a new market to provide services based on customer demands. Very quickly, I want us to look at the benefits of innovation and change to your organization. Innovation helps any organization to stay competitive. Innovation and change can help a company stay competitive by offering new and improved products or services, or finding more efficient ways of doing things. Any organization that prioritizes innovation will most likely stay ahead in the game in its chosen or is given industry or niche. So innovation helps you stay competitive. Innovation also helps you meet your customer needs. Innovation and change can help a company or organization meet its customers' changing needs by introducing new products or services that addresses their needs and provide solution. Remember, I said innovation cannot be called innovation if it is not providing a solution to a challenge. And so when you constantly look for better ways to provide solutions to your customers' needs, you would always stay ahead in your industry. And so innovation helps you meet the needs of your client. Innovation also improves efficiency. It helps you streamline your operations, business processes, and increase efficiency, thereby reducing costs and increasing profitability. Innovation is also a major driver for growth. Innovation, like we talked about, can create new business opportunities, can open up new markets, even for your organization, and it can help a company expand into new sphere and can drive growth and increase sales. When you provide solution, one of the things you can be sure of is that you would have a high demand from clients. If you're providing solution, that is why people want to pay money. That's why what people want to pay premium. Once you're providing value and you're bringing solution to the table, you would have high profitability. And so that is one of the beautiful things about innovation. It drives growth. And then innovation attracts top talent. There is no employee or there is no talented person who does not want to work in an innovative organization. So innovation or organizations that are open to innovative and creative ideas are usually would attract top talent from the employee pool, as they offer a dynamic and exciting work environment. And so you see, talented creative guys will want to work in organizations that are high on innovation. Also, innovation would increase profitability. I've talked about that definitely. I mean, if you're providing solutions, you have a high clientele base, and once you have a high clientele base, you have high profitability. And then innovation will help you stay relevant in your industry. Very, very key. Now, very quickly, I want us to look at recent examples of innovation that every one of us are familiar with. I want us to look at how that things were done in a certain way, and these persons or these organizations came on board and brought new ideas, brought new products, brought new technology to our table that changed or revolutionized how things are done in that industry. And the first one I want us to consider together is the electric vehicles. Electric vehicles by brands like Tesla, like I talked about, have changed the automotive industry by pioneering electric vehicles. And so they took us from the traditional, vehicles to electric vehicles. Wow, amazing. Another one that I'm sure every one of us are familiar with is Netflix. Once you see that and I hear that ding, Netflix disrupted the traditional video rental and television industry and brought about, a streaming service. Before Netflix, we didn't have a streaming service where you had the option of choosing the kind of movie or the kind of show you wanted to watch. Prior to then, we had, TV services, or you had a video rental if you wanted to watch a particular show. If you're using DSTV or any of, the show offering platforms, you had to watch what they were streaming. You didn't have a choice. But Netflix brought a change to that. Now I can sit in the comfort of my home and, I'm watching a different movie, and another Netflix user is watching a different movie. And we can be 1,000 Netflix users and we're all watching 1,000 different shows at the same time. And so Netflix brought a disruption to that, and that innovation led to a shift on how content was is consumed, and it also paved the way. Remember, I talked about innovation opening up new markets. It paved a way for other streaming platforms like Hulu TV and Showmax and Disney Plus. Another beautiful innovation that we've had in the 21st century and in the past decade is the mobile payment solution. And so we have companies like Google Pay, Apple Pay, PayPal, Payoneer have transformed the way payments are made by enabling secure and convenient mobile transactions. And so now, compared to the traditional process of having to go to a physical store to pay yourself, so Google Pay, Apple Pay, or PayPal have changed, the financial, market. And now you can pay easily from the comfort of your home. And so this innovation has simplified payment processes and enhanced financial inclusivity. Another innovation we've seen in the 21st century, particularly, in the last 5 years, is virtual reality. Very interesting. Virtual reality. Have you seen persons who are so immersed and they are doing something different on the outside, but they are so immersed in this new world that virtual reality presents to them? And so it's a technology that allows users to interact with a simulated three-dimensional environment, and it is used not only in the gaming world but in various business applications such as training, product design, marketing, teleconferencing, and education. Yes, people use virtual reality for classes such that it looks like they are really in that class, having a one-on-one interaction with their lecturers or their teachers. So virtual reality has really opened the door to, new possibilities. And then we have the Airbnb. Airbnb also disrupted the traditional hospitality industry by creating an online marketplace that allows individuals to rent out their homes or spare rooms to travelers. So compared to the traditional hospitality industry, that if you're in a new city or in a new town, you have to compulsorily, get a room in a hotel or a motel. Now you can rent a room in a family house. And so that has transformed that space, and now persons who have spare rooms or can put it up online, and travelers can rent those rooms. Another innovation that we're familiar with is Alexa, play me that music, or play me Cocomelon for my son. Amazon's Alexa voice controlled assistant introduced a new way of interacting with technology, leveraging digital innovation through natural language processing. And so you can be in the kitchen cooking and you can interact with your gadget and say, Alexa, play me this, or Alexa, call my mom. Without having to pick your phone yourself. That is amazing. And so it has, revolutionized the smart home industry, and it has also paved the way for voice control devices and services. Another beautiful innovation we've seen, in the last decade is solar energy technologies. Advancement in solar energy technologies, including, more efficient photovoltaic, cells and cost reductions, have made solar power increasingly accessible and economically viable. And this innovation has driven the growth of renewable energy sources and has contributed to the transition towards a sustainable energy future. I can go on and on. There are so many innovations that have taken our world, by storm and have made things easier and better for us. These examples that these few examples I mentioned showcase the transformative power of innovation across various sectors, highlighting how, new ideas or creative ideation and advancements can reshape industries, can improve lives, and drive positive change. And so I want you to know that change is great, innovation is great. And not only does it impact your organization positively, it also impacts the lives of your customers positively. While this will be all that will be taken on today's episode, I do hope you learned something new, and I do hope you're ready to bring out that new idea and to implement it. Thank you so much for joining in today. It was such a pleasure to have you on board. For questions, for feedbacks, for comments, you can visit us on contact@theamogate.org. I'll take that again, contact@theamogate.org. You can also connect with us on our social media handles on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on Instagram. We would love to connect with you, we would love to speak with you, and we would love to work with you. Thank you so much for joining in today. Until I come your way, same time next week, keep being amazing and keep churning out those wonderful ideas. Bye for now.